Okay, I'm almost ready. It's all been a bit of a rush the last few minutes, but I've got my anchor ready, I've got my life jacket on. I'm about to go back out onto a tidal river. This time I'm heading up to a new direction, Derwent, River Derwent, and then onto the Pocklington canal. And with me I've got a very, very nice gentleman, John here. He knows he's done this trip before, and he's also got a boat here in Goole that he's taken from the Pocklington canal itself, where he's had a lot of dealings there restoring it. So really interesting bloke, and he's going to be my navigator today, a sort of a silent travelling partner really, because he's not too keen on being on this video. But I'm really pleased of having him on here today. John, how do you feel? Are we ready to cast off, do you think?
Yeah, I think we're about ready to go. I think we should get underway. The wind's calmed down quite a lot.
Yeah,
and, which is good for the
I know. I was most worried about the wind, but yeah, it's about time. We're going to give the lock keeper a call. I've already phoned ahead 24 hours in advance, and now we've got to get on the VHF radio, which is quite fun really, and ask for passage through. But let's get the engine started and get set. Here we go. Right, goodbye Goole Marina, top place to moor. Really enjoyed being here. I may return, who knows.
Right, so
Goole Dock, this is Naughty Lass. Just leaving Goole Marina, and we'll be headed your way. Should be hopefully with you in 10 minutes. And that's all you have to do really, just sort of keep it short and to the point. Yeah, see you later, barking dogs.
how long have you been doing it then?
About 7 years now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So mostly on my own. So it's nice to have you aboard, John. We're just going past a couple of boats here that you might see out on the Aire and Calder from time to time. Fusedale and Fossdale here, and they generally carry things like gravel, so quite heavy loads. But I haven't seen them move for a while, so they're kind of out of action. But we're just about to go into ABP waters, so behind me is Canal and River Trust owned, and now we're about to go into Associated British Ports, and everything has to be done as they say. It's absolutely iconic, that, isn't it? You can see it from quite far around the area because it's all very flat around here. And yeah, it's just that, to me, that's what I think of when I think of Goole Docks. It's a very interesting place just to look around. I wish I could have more time just to explore, but it's also permissioned by ABP. This is their waters, and I'm only permitted to go straight through into the dock. Another boat that's very recognisable to travellers of the South Yorkshire navigations, because this carries oil, if I'm correct. It still carries oil. It used to anyway last time I saw it, and it still makes trips. I've seen it going up and down the river, up and down the canals. That's normally headed to Rotherham, that boat. Not moving today, thankfully. Right, here we go. quite exciting. We get to pass by a container ship offloading whatever it's offloading. I don't know, it might be steel, might be timber. Might get a closer look in a sec. It's called Amadeus. So I've listened on the radio. You can do this, channel 14 if you're in the area. You can listen into what's happening in the dock. I love it, absolutely in the thick of it. And I've always wanted to cruise this boat through an actual working dock. I thought it would be really interesting. What a life, travelling around on a container ship, merchant navy, all that sort of stuff. Really interesting. And look at all these cranes, wow. Right, this is the dock that we need to go in on. It's called Ocean Dock because it faces the ocean. About, well, the North Sea, which we're about 50 miles from. So this is the most inland port in the UK. Quite nervous actually. Quite nervous, but if I wasn't, then perhaps I wouldn't be as prepared. You don't want to muck around on something like this, do you? You've got to take it a tiny little bit seriously. Beyond that bottom gate is the tidal river Ouse, which I've got to navigate for about 8 miles to get to Barmby Barrage, where the river Derwent is. I've just been told to stay within the yellow markers here. I don't know if you can see them behind me. Well, there we are. One there, one there. Just got to stay sort of within the middle of the lock until told otherwise. So I'm not sharing it with any other boats. You can sometimes, it does happen, but not today. Unfortunately, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Going there with a huge boat like huge ship like Amadeus back there. Here we go. This is getting serious now. You okay, John? We're locked in. Ah! Is this bringing back good memories, John?
Oh yes, yes.
It's a bit unnerving, isn't it? Going out to.
It certainly is when you get out there. You've got to go with it, whatever station you are.
Yeah, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the water is dropping around us. We can see the water's dropping. I've just got to pay attention now. Right, the gates are opening.
So just give it some total and go.
Just got to wait for the word from the guys in that tower up there. Getting sucked out to sea a little bit here. Let's reverse a little bit.
Make sure you are back, you can see it in a minute.
Alright, thank you so much. Cheers. Bye. See you later.
Reports of traffic in the area as well, so.
There's something about traffic in the area.
Alright, right.
Okay. So I've got to stick to this left-hand side first. According to our little guide here, they're very important, these maps here, aren't they? The charts. Told you where to go. We'll stick to that red line, the racing line. Just about to pass another block. Just trying to find the name of it. Victoria Pier Inn. I don't know how we're going to get you back, John. Your boat's back there.
No, my friend is.
We'll sort him out, don't worry.
We're actually going down the river on a rising tide.
Oh, okay.
On the flow, I don't know what the increase is, but by the time we get, it should settle obviously by the time we get to Barmby to get the timing right.
Christ. Ugh. Right, well, while this is going on, all these waves hitting the side, we've also got another problem, and that is that I've called ahead to Barmby Barrage, and they said we didn't know we were coming. And I just said to them, are you kidding me? Because I've called ABP, locked out. They've sent us out onto the river, and we've told them where we were going, and they just haven't communicated. So this Environment Agency is the lockkeeper that we're going to see next. But I'm a bit thrown back by this, because you don't want to get out on a tidal river not knowing that you can actually get off it again. Luckily, the lockkeeper is going to be there, so I can relax a little bit, but these waves aren't helping. Oh, and another thing, the lockkeeper has said that there's no room at the inn. There's no room on the pontoon next to the lock. So I've got to now ring a pub that's on the Derwent and arrange a mooring. And I've just had water splash in somehow. Where did that come from? At this point, I had to put my camera down. The boat was turning full lock, as if someone had fallen off. And I didn't hear a splash, but I did hear John saying that he couldn't swim. So I rushed to the back of the boat to see what was happening and to check to see if John was still there. Well, we just realised we've gone the wrong way around this island. This is Howden's Island, and we should have gone the other side of it. And we've just gone straight across the sandbanks. Well, I'm just fingers crossed now that we don't get stuck. We're almost there. I'm just hoping that there's no sandbar or anything that stops us from getting through. Oh god, that's the way we should have gone. It looks a lot calmer that way as well. At low water, this stretch of the river is simply a floodplain with a little stream going through it. So we were so very lucky to have made it through. And if I look on my charts, it'll tell me where to go. Right, we've got to go underneath that one there. This is the most hectic journey I've ever had. Hopefully we'll be able to get out of the wind very soon.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it is not doing wonders for my nerves. Oh my god, look at all these waves. Let's steer into the waves, John. Steer into the waves. Yeah, nice. Wow. Do you want to have a break now, John? I'll take over. Oh man, it's like we've been out to war together, isn't it? Yeah, I'll get something stronger later, don't worry. Well, this time I'm definitely following the guide and I'm going the correct way through this bridge, which is right away over on the right hand side if you're going upstream. But if you're doing this trip, I'm sure you're sensible enough to actually read the guide, the charts. The charts! Just gone past the River Aire. This is where it flows out into the River Ouse here. So according to John's gauge, we're doing about 6 miles an hour. 6 the maximum. Christ. Oh. be able to see the mouth of the Derwent very shortly. Right. So John and I, we've made it this far and we're just about to turn off onto the Derwent. Both a bit relieved, I think. And just got to try and make this turning. There's still a slight flow of the water, the tide. Is it the tide water?
Yeah.
Pushing this way.
Yeah.
So we haven't reached slack water yet, where the river comes the other way and it all evens out, or when it starts to flow back out to sea. But we're just going to go for it. So here we are. We're going to go for it. Right, we're going to have to go a bit further over. Yeah.
Get some revs on now.
Yeah. I think we're going to cop this one up.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Oh dear.
The flow of the water was more than I thought it was. Yeah.
I'm going to go for it. A bit of flow.
We're going to get there, don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everybody.
Oh, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. Perfect.
Oh, that's tricky, that is.
It's tricky.
Right there, Steve. Oh, we made it. Yeah, we made it. Right, we're off the tidal river onto a different river, the Derwent, and Barmby Barrage behind us. Steve, the lockkeeper, absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad that he was actually here today, and he might have shut up shop before we'd got here if we hadn't have called ahead. But we're here, we've made it, but there is a slight problem in that the pontoons where you're supposed to moor after you've made that passage, they're all full. So we're going to have to go along to the next mooring. I've called ahead. It's actually a caravan site and a pub called the Brayton Arms. So could that be pub of the week? He deserves a pint. So that's where we're going. Whew. John, thank you so much for getting me here in one piece. I know we didn't quite go the right way at some times, but we did it.
Well, I've enjoyed it very much, Robbie, and
Oh.
I've certainly enjoyed your company.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Now, John's got to go back home, well, back to Goole, so otherwise I'd invite you into the pub, wouldn't I? Good old John. Well, now it's time to thank a few people that have signed up to my Patreon. It's the way I am able to support myself in my videos. I'm going to start with the top tier, which is captain level. So Captain Craig Nibbs, who's already joined as a producer with his wife Mel. And we've got Captain Carl Wilson. And then we've got Clive Stocker, John and Kathy Ward, Pete and Hannah Bunting, Paul Anthony Owen Appleyard, Mikey and Alison Daveney, Chris Graver, and Gary Davis, and all of these guys are producers. So they're also, this is like the second level, but still so important to the funding of these videos. These guys really do help me. And then we've got the Crankit crew members, Andrew Davies, Sue Swift, Mark Illingworth, Terry Chennels, Steve Kirk, Graham and Wendy Dewey, Bill Harrison, Elizabeth Plant, Stephen Duckworth, Marjorie Johnson and Kate Cole. Thank you all so much, everyone. You literally keep me cranking, and I couldn't do this stuff without you. Certainly wouldn't have made it to where I am now. This is Pub of the Week. It's the only pub in the area, really, so they've got a bit of a monopoly. But yeah, landlord John is doing a cracking job here with this place, serving all the right sorts of drinks. We've got some great pub humour on the walls, and there's a jukebox playing all the hits and a pool table. So what more could I want from a Pub of the Week? Really nice place, can definitely recommend. The moorings here are £5 per night. It's a campsite, and it's the same price as the pitches here. If you want to turn up with a van or whatever, it's the same price. There's an airstrip just by where I was moored. So every now and then you keep seeing planes go over, even like biplanes and stuff. It's quite interesting. Just passing Bubwith with the Norman church there. Beautiful. But all this is sort of ruined a little bit by the fact there are a few horseflies around. So this all looks lovely, doesn't it? But from my point of view, I'm a bit on edge because horseflies can give you, well, painful stings. So yeah, I've already seen a few of them. But yeah, I'm on edge. I'm not relaxed right now. I'm a bit, you know, it's not good. Just chill out, Robbie, chill out. Just look at the scenery and try to relax. This is Derwent Bridge. Oh, so I'm trying to film this. There's a horsefly right there trying to get at me. That's a beautiful bridge. I just love the way it's not quite symmetrical. It's a bit wobbly. I like that. It's obviously very, very old. Also, that's the only road that crosses this section of the river. So from here on up to the Pocklington canal, that's it. We're in the middle of nowhere. Exciting. See you later, civilization. First lot of weed of the day, of the year actually. I'll have to get used to doing this. Well, that's the only thing about these waterways. Especially if the water's really nice and clear, you just get so much weed. Well, bang goes the idea of relaxing. I'm exhausted already. It's the first time this year I've been down that weed hatch. It won't be the last, but yeah, look at all this. So it's not the worst kind of weed, but still, could do without that. Especially on a river that's actually flowing. Chuck it in the hedge. Right. And there's another boat coming as well. Right, let's get going. I didn't expect to see another boat, I'm sorry. Have you just come from the Pocklington? How was it? Yeah. Did you down the weed hatch a lot of times, or?
I don't, because I've got hydraulic gearbox, so I just slam it with those and throws it all off.
Oh, that's the stuff, isn't it?
It's very shallow.
Could do with that.
We're 2'9".
Yeah. Oh, it's quite deep, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so if you're
Oh dear.
nice to meet you.
You too. I got stuck in this weed here, so that's why I didn't move, because that's what I got caught around the propeller.
Thanks very much for your programme. It's absolutely brilliant.
According to the Pocklington Canal Society, only 100 to 120 boats make it up this way, so it's nice to see those people and get a few tips of things to look forward to in terms of how much weed I'm going to have to deal with. Already dreading it. And that corner of the river, the inside corner was so much deeper than the outside. Weird. That's very weird. I've got to concentrate now. Make sure I don't get stuck again. Right, according to my map, I'm not far away, just got like an S-bend to go, and then I'm near the first lock of the Pocklington Canal. Very excited about this. We'll get to meet Malcolm, the photographer for the Pocklington Canal Society, and he is quite a character. I'm at a junction right now where the river forks off. It forks off to the Pocklington Canal, so I've got to behave myself. Or you can carry on the Derwent. I think it goes as far as a place called Elvington, Sutton upon Derwent, where well, it's only about 3 miles really, 3 or 4 miles, and then that's it. No longer navigable beyond that point. It's a shame because the end of this river navigation, it used to go to Stamford Bridge, and that's a very important historical location if you know your medieval history. Right, into uncharted territory now, because the river narrows quite significantly. And you can get stuck on this bit if you're too deep drafted. And I've got a full tank of diesel, so I might struggle here. Already I've slowed right down. I can see the bottom of the water, the little cut here. This is difficult. There we go, there's the lock. And there, standing by it, is Malcolm. okay, Malcolm? Can you give us a welcome to Pocklington Canal? Neither of us can hear a word what we're saying. Malcolm's half deaf and I'm got this engine, haven't I? Got this engine going, I can't hear a word. Taking lots of snaps, Malcolm.
Snaps, snaps? I don't take snaps, I take photographs. Oh dear.
It's only a few feet away from the lock itself, so I thought I'd just drag the boat round to this. Well, it's a lock operation only mooring, but I've been talking to the CIT and obviously people in the Canal Society, and they say I can stay here for a bit. But I just really want the water level to rise a little bit more if that's possible. But in summer, that is the main issue, water levels. But yeah, this is beautiful. Made it to the Pocklington Canal, I'm so happy. I think I have got bitten and I didn't even realise it. Oh.